Listen to this. 450 women paid for my Doodles Coaching Week, but only 209 showed up. And that gap has nothing to do with time. I need to tell you something a little embarrassing. I'm in a mastermind. It's called Connect, and it meets monthly on Zoom, but twice a year, the whole group gets together in person. And a few weeks ago, we were meeting outside of Boulder, Colorado. And that's quite close to where I live because I'm in California. But I didn't go. What were my reasons for not showing up? The mastermind focuses on recurring revenue through memberships. And I have a membership that I really haven't been paying very much attention to, and so it's not doing great right now. I have really good intentions for how to improve it and how to serve my members better. But the thought of sitting in a room with people who've all figured it out and they're all ahead of me, I decided I'd just rather not. And here's the part that stings, because that's exactly why I should go. And they haven't all figured it out. And it's the best environment for all of us to brainstorm together, come up with new ideas, and move forward to make progress in our memberships. I registered for it. I paid for it. I belong to this group. And yet I chose to stay home doing what I normally do around my business instead of actually showing up. Does that sound familiar? Because 450 women paid to attend my Doodles Coaching Week, only 209 showed up. And the gap for them probably really wasn't time. I think there are 3 reasons that the other 241 people, and that might have included you, chose to just stay in their comfort zone over doing the one thing that could really bring about quite a bit of change and progress in their creative practice. Reason number 1 for them probably was also I'm too busy. And I actually believe you. I really do. Life is full and the calendar is unforgiving. And some weeks it feels like there's barely enough air to breathe, let alone show up for a live Zoom training. But here's what I've learned after years of working with women just like you and being one myself. Busy is often a costume. Underneath it is something quieter and harder to say out loud. It's the belief that your creativity is last in line. That everyone else's needs, your family, maybe your aging and ailing parents, maybe your job, your inbox, other obligations, they all come before maybe the 1 hour that you had intended to set aside for yourself. And in the Doodles Coaching Week, it was only 30 minutes. Now, research backs this up. Studies consistently show that women are more likely than men to deprioritize their own development and personal growth, often citing lack of time as the primary reason, even when the time objectively exists. We are not bad at time management. In fact, we're very good at time management because we always have multiple balls in the air. But we are also very, very good at deciding that our own growth can wait. And it can't. And somewhere inside you, you already know that. When 100 women posted their very first repeating pattern in our Facebook group during the Doodles Coaching Week, women who showed up, followed the steps, and did the work, they weren't women who had more time than you. They were women who decided that this 30 minutes belonged to them. That's it. That's the whole difference. Now, reason number 2. We were taught that our creativity wasn't worth prioritizing. And this one goes deeper, and it might be the most important reason on this list. Most of the women in my creative community grew up being told, directly or indirectly, that art was a nice hobby, but not a real pursuit. That creativity was fine as long as it didn't get in the way of the serious business of life. That wanting to make things was sweet, but perhaps a bit impractical. Those messages don't disappear just because we're adults now. They live in the back of our minds and show up in the quietest ways, like not opening an email about a training that you already paid for, like telling ourselves we'll get to it later, like registering for something that genuinely excites us and then not going. Psychologists call this internalized devaluation, the process by which repeated external messages become internal beliefs that shape our behavior long after the original source is gone. In other words, we were told our creativity didn't matter often enough that we started telling ourselves the same thing and believing it. Here's what I need you to hear. That story isn't true. It was never true. And every time you show up for your creativity, every single time, you are quietly, powerfully rewriting that message. The 209 women who attended the Doodles Coaching Week, they weren't braver than you. They were just a little further along in deciding that that old story was a lie. Now, reason number 3 might seem a little counterintuitive, but we're afraid of what showing up might reveal. This is the one that nobody really wants to talk about, so I want to talk about it. Sometimes we don't show up because we're afraid of what we'll find when we do. What if I go and I'm behind everyone else? What if I try and I struggle? What if I show up and the technology defeats me and I feel foolish and small? Staying home keeps those questions safely unanswered. And safety, even uncomfortable safety, is easier than risk. But here's what I've seen over and over again in my creative community. The women who are the most afraid to show up are almost always the one who are the most transformed when they do. The fear isn't a signal to stay away. It's a signal that something important is waiting for you on the other side. Research on creative self-sabotage confirms this pattern. Studies on fear of failure in creative women show that avoidance behaviors, skipping sessions, not completing work, staying in the planning phase indefinitely, are the most common when the stakes feel personally meaningful. In other words, we avoid the things that matter most to us, not because we don't care, because we care so much that it's scary. If you paid for the Doodles Coaching Week and you didn't show up, this might be why. And I just wanted to let you know that I am not sharing any of this to make you feel guilty. I promise. I do it too. I'm sharing it because I sat in that same chair last week and I chose comfort over growth. But I also know that patterns can definitely be broken, and I want to give you a concrete next step. Your Doodles design is probably sitting on your hard drive if you actually completed the steps. It might still be in your head or waiting to be made if you were not able to attend. Either way, there's a moment that changes everything for pattern designers, and it happens the very first time you hold real fabric printed with your design on it, and you hold it in your very own hands. So that's exactly what my new mini course, Your First Fabric, is designed to give you. It's a 5-part mini course that walks you step by step through setting up your Spoonflower shop, which is free, saving your Illustrator file in the correct way so that the settings are set in such a way that you can upload it properly, uploading it to your shop and adding tags and descriptions so that it gets discovered, and then placing your first fabric order. When you receive it, you cannot even begin to imagine how you're going to feel. You're going to have a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment, and an incredible sense of empowerment. So I've packaged this new mini course together with the Doodles replays. So it's a bundle. You get the Doodles replays so that you can watch them again if you missed some of them, or watch them for the very first time if you didn't participate at all. And in addition, you get the mini course, My First Fabric. The investment is only $197. It's worth it so that you can actually make progress and create that first design, or upload that first design and order your first fabric. The link to register is down below in the comments, but I'll also put it on screen. It's members.artwithann.com/fabric, and I'm only letting this be open for a short period of time. So register for this bundle. Get the Doodles replays and your first fabric mini course. You can go to members.artwithann.com/fabric for all of the details. This is your chance to do the thing you didn't do. You're going to show up, but you can do it on your own time. You can close the gap between the woman who signed up and the woman who now follows through. And doing the work unlocks everything. 100 patterns were posted in our pop-up Facebook group. And the only variable, literally the only one, is whether you decide to show up for yourself. And I really hope that you do, because here's what I want you to sit with. The 3 reasons we don't show up: busyness, those old wounds about our worth, and fear of what we might find. They are not character flaws. They're patterns, and patterns can be broken one small step and one small decision at a time. And every woman who posted a pattern in the Facebook group broke her old pattern, and I know that you can break yours too. Imagine opening your front door in a couple of weeks to a package. Inside it is a small square of fabric covered in a design that came from your hand, your imagination. It's tangible, it's real, it's yours. And that's what this bundle makes possible. And you don't have to just order a piece of fabric. You'll see inside the Spoonflower shop that you can order a table runner, or you can order napkins. I actually demonstrate the napkins that I'm going to be using for the 4th of July. So take the next step and register for this special bundle, the Doodles replays, and the Your First Fabric mini course by going to members.artwithann.com/fabric. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching me on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button so that you will be notified when I have my next video. And if you're listening to the podcast, thank you for listening. And I would love for you to share it with a friend so that more people can discover it. And remember, it's never too late to create. That's it for today, and I'll see you again next week.